Housing unaffordability is like a cancer for cities, according to the United Nations top housing and urban development expert. Dr. Joan Clos is in Australia for the New Urban Agenda conference, and he joins me now live from Melbourne. So, Dr. Clos, thanks so much for being with us. Why is this problem like a cancer?
Well, because it affects the conviviality in the society, and in the modern times where we are seeing very important changes related to migration, to globalization, to certain divide in the employability of people. The lack of affordability of housing, it can deepen some of those conflicts and become a very protracted issue that can affect the quality of life of societies.
But calling it a cancer seems to suggest that it can severely impact the quality of life of a city.
Well, perhaps it's a little bit of exaggeration to mention cancer, but I wanted just to underline the relevance that this issue has, because if not, what the risk that we are seeing all over the world is that the city can divide its territory in a manner that the rich tend to live in one part of the city, the poor tend to live in another totally different part of the city, and the lack of connection between the different social groups in the long term can generate this negative process of increasing the divide, in fact. And this is something that it's in fact an attack to the utopian view of a city. The city is a place where very different people can live together, and I think that to preserve the magic of the city implies to make an effort to guarantee this conviviality.
So from what you've seen so far, Dr. Clos, what's the state of our cities, particularly those in the eastern states, Melbourne and Sydney?
Well, I think that in Australia you enjoy a very high level of quality of life, high prosperity, open spaces, good quality of life. Even some of your cities, they have ranked the livability ranks all around the world. I think that you are very well placed and you are in a very nice setting and conditions, although of course you are connected with the rest of the world, and you are impacted, and you are going to be impacted in the future with these global issues, mainly issues of the change of the economic model, the post-industrial society, where the services in the economy are going to take the lead in the economic growth, and then the social issues like migration and increase of inequalities in the society that in one way or another they require attention in order to mitigate its negative effects in society.
So what are the solutions?
Well, in those collective issues, the human solution to that is politics. In politics, in the best term, in the best meaning of the sense of politics, of polis. In fact, the politics, they began in the city, in the polis itself. That means the dialogue between communities, the dialogue between stakeholders, in order to arrange some basic agreements to cohabitate together in a peaceful and happy manner. Of course, this is very theoretical, but then at every level, in every place, you need to work it out in order to transform it in a reality, in a quality of life. For much of what I see in Australia, you have a very high quality of life, and I think that the important way ahead that you have is to continue in this direction, and in many sense you serve as an example worldwide of how a society can strike a successive set of deals that allow a good quality of life.
Dr. Joan Clos, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.
For the first time in 40 years, the victims of Australia's worst train disaster have received a formal apology. New South Wales Premier Gladys Berejiklian says families are still suffering. Moving on, the families of anorexia victims say the health system is failing young people with eating disorders. Anorexia has the highest mortality rate of any mental illness, and 1 in 5 patients will take their own life. The Federal Health Minister says eating disorders have been overlooked